If our speakers can go ahead and come up here to the stage and have a seat, we're going to go ahead and get started with our program. All right, good afternoon. I love you all. You guys are amazing. Good afternoon. My name is Shanika Smith, and I'm with Judge George's office. And we are going to get started with our program. This is our third annual Women's International High Tea. Ryan, if you could get the music for me. Thank you guys so much for being here. We have an exciting panel for you guys to hear. Again, my name is Shanika Smith, and this is our third annual Women's International High Tea. This year, we have done it a little bit differently. If I can get your attention, I appreciate everybody's excitement today because this is an exciting day. This year, we've done it a little bit differently. Everybody can sit wherever you would like. This year, we have your snacks and your goodies at your table. We have graciously prepared that. Our office has prepared that. Our sponsors for this lunch has been Frost Bank. We want to thank them this afternoon for the lunch that has been prepared for you. I would like to also thank our office for being here since 8:30. Working, and then we had to hurry and get dressed in that small bathroom. What we're going to do is get started this afternoon. The subject and the topic for this afternoon is challenges. And so what we're going to get started with is a clip that we want to have leading into the topics that we're going to have for our panel discussion as well. So I want to start with the video, and it's going to lead us into what is going to be for the panel discussion. Ryan?
Well, good afternoon. I don't know about you, but I am a Barbie girl living in this Barbie world. Can you hear me? No? It's on. I think they just got to switch. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. So I think we can all relate to Barbies. I just want to say we're never too old for Barbies, okay? We're never too old for Barbies. Are we, Rosie? Yeah. Okay, all right, good. Thank you so much for joining us. As Shanika said, this is our third annual High Tea, and it just seems like it's growing bigger and bigger every year, and we see familiar faces and we see new faces. So I want to welcome you all here. Thank you so much. I'm going to introduce our first speaker, and I had the pleasure of meeting her maybe last month. She's a phenomenal woman. All of you are phenomenal women. All of you are phenomenal women. But she just touched me with just her story, and she's going to share some of that with you today because she's going to be talking to us about motherhood challenges. So Aisha Krista Atkinson. She is an instructional leader and acting assistant principal at Stafford Early Childhood Center. She's the 2023 Texas Mother of the Year as awarded by America's Mothers Incorporated, as well as a board member for the Texas Council of Teachers of English Language Arts. Love it. I was an English Language Arts teacher as well. And a committee chair for the Texas Alliance of Black School Educators. She is the proud mother of Aries Rain Williams, a non-speaking disabled youth advocate. So without further ado, please put your hands together for Aisha Krista Atkinson. There's two mics. Okay. Right, that's what we're looking. That's what I was looking for. Hold on, you can see it right now. They're getting it. Technical difficulties, but in the meantime, what's your favorite bird, Barbie? Here we go. Thank you.
First, I wish to thank our Honorable Fort Bend County Judge, KP George, and his office personnel for the opportunity to speak with you all this afternoon. This moment for me is about bringing honor as well as visibility to the many Texan mothers who are giving their absolute best to raise children with disabilities with love. Failure to thrive. These words, in all caps, were typed beneath the name of my son. My gift to the world had only been present for less than an hour, and already it seemed his fate had been predetermined by everyone around me. Because in this world, when you are born at 23 weeks gestation, weighing less than 2 pounds, and you are diagnosed with hydrocephalus, one of the rarest brain conditions in the world, the medical presumption is that you are going to die. You are statistically deemed a failure before your life can truly even begin. As others spoke words of doubt into my son, some even refusing to publicly acknowledge the existence of my son, I chose not to give up on my son. I chose to stand firm in my beliefs and speak words of life into my son. When they said, he has a 20% chance to live, I said to him, don't listen to what they say. And when they told me that I was still young, that I could always try again, I told Aries Rain Williams, my Veterans Day miracle, to just keep fighting, and he's been victorious ever since. But Aries isn't the only one who's been fighting since November 11th, 2017. Over the years, I, as a mother, have had to come to terms with carrying within my heart the feelings of inescapable otherness, of immense loneliness, and find a way to transform what have been some of the greatest adversities in my life into action that inspires. While my football mom fantasies didn't exactly pan out the way I had dreamed, What happened in its place has become far more meaningful, far more reaching than my imagination could have ever generated. Instead, I have found myself learning how to hold it all together, leading children and educators to speak love and light into one another, all while trying to coordinate weekly physical, occupational, and speech therapy sessions, not to mention medical appointments carefully scheduled between emergency brain surgeries, ARD meetings, and of course battling insurance claim after insurance claim for a medical grade safety bed, only to be denied after 3 hours of advocacy because existing policies fail to account for the complexities of non-speaking children with epilepsy. Falling short of seeing the humanity of a parent never fully getting a night of rest because the question that races through my mind, is my son okay, is just as persistent as I am. Motherhood, for all who share the identity of being a mother to anyone, is far from being that of a crystal stair. But for mothers like myself, caregivers of children who are cognitively and even physically disabled, or both, the challenges are almost too much for one woman to bear. Knowing this, living this, I have learned to find within myself the strength to get up and not only face another day, but live in the fullness of who I am and speak up for those who cannot. When I discover myself to be frustrated with how things are going or too tired to keep going, I think about my son, a boy once predicted to never be able to walk, who is now able to run because he pushed through until he achieved what was initially thought to be impossible. I also think about the moms I serve and work alongside of each and every day. I know how tired they are, how over it they are, how they wish others understood the depths of who they are. And I tell myself, get up for her, keep talking for her, keep fighting for her, because if not you, then who? 6 years have passed, and even with the addition of other labels such as cerebral palsy and autism spectrum disorder, my son, my beautiful, resilient, unstoppable son, continues to fight for a life without limitations. You can see it in the confidence in his walk, in the melodies of his voice, and in the radiance of his $1,000,000 smile. What I have learned from my child, and what I hope you learn from our story, is that our words hold an unshakable power that we pass on to those around us. I urge you to always speak love and light into the destinies of one another, to believe in the might of optimism. But should you ever find yourself against all odds, remember the legacy of the winners who survived.
What an incredible story. Thank you for sharing with us. Now to our second presenter to speak with us on the challenges of friendships and the sisterhood relationships, the chief editor of She Magazine USA, Bina Yusuf.
Good morning, ladies. My name is Bina Yusuf. First of all, let's give it up for you ladies. You guys look so beautiful, and it's so early in the morning, so I commend you all. Such pretty hats and beautiful dresses, so thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Hina, and her entire staff, and Judge KP George for this opportunity. As Samantha said, I'm Bina Yusuf. I'm chief editor of She Magazine USA. My story is about what they wanted me to speak about was challenges in friendships and sisterhood. I'm going to tell a brief story. I'm just going to go off the top of my head from my heart because that's where it comes the best. Mainly what happened was I do own a women empowerment magazine. I used to love the word empowerment until now. Empowerment didn't mean just like my photo or comment, "You're pretty" on my Facebook page. Empowerment was much more than that, but I was trying to find that reason. I did my publications. I published beautiful models, beautiful celebrities in the last 4 years until I had a major halt in my life. I was pregnant with a beautiful child until they told me they found white mass in my brain. I had a benign brain tumor a year and a half ago while I was 8 months pregnant. My entire life completely stopped. The woman empowerment, everything just went out the window. My life was in danger. Maybe my baby's life was in danger. I kept moving forward, and it was my friends, my childhood friends, my friends from now that came through and lifted me up and brought me back to life. I survived. I'm here today, thank God. My daughter is beautiful and healthy. She was only born a month early, but she's a year and a half now. She's amazing. She kept me going. But one thing I want to tell you, ladies, is that the word empowerment, what happened was that word made more sense to me. When I went through, I had radiation, even though my tumor was benign, but while I had a 3-month-old baby in my arm, I had radiation. I went through all that. I love vanity like we all women do. I love my hair, my makeup, my clothes, like we all do. My rings, you can tell, it's as big as my face. They shaved half of my head. And the first thing I told all the doctors was, do not touch my hair. Whatever you do, just take that tumor out, but don't touch my hair. And they said, and I literally grabbed every nurse's hand and every doctor and said, doctor, please, my hair is my everything. It's my staple. I've been known for my hair all my life. And they all laughed, but they're like, you should be worried about the tumor, not the hair. But the hair was my biggest thing. They shaved half of my head. Thank God hair does grow back, thank God. However, one thing I learned was my friends from LA came, my friends from UK came. They all flew down for me when I needed them the most. And that's when I learned what empowerment truly means. And you know why? Because they said, Bina, you inspired us. They didn't say, Bina, you look amazing even though you went through hell. They didn't say that. They said, Bina, you inspired us. Although I felt like Frankenstein when I came home, I had stitches in my stomach, stitches in my head. My head was still bleeding when I came home. But those girls said, Bina, you inspired us. You make us better. All my girlfriends told me that. And at that time, all I wanted was just tell me I'm pretty. Tell me my baby's adorable. Tell me I'm going to be okay. They said, Bina, you make us stronger. You make us better. And that's when I learned that I hate the word empowerment. Inspire me because I'm already empowered. I gave birth to a baby while I had a brain tumor. I fought battles you guys have never heard of before. My brother went to cardiac arrest 4 years prior. I take care of him and this happened to us. So this is not a sad story. This is a story of resilience and true sistership and true empowerment. So I implore you ladies next time, it's not about your looks, because I thought it was. It's not about, oh, you look pretty. Go deeper than that. If you really want real relationships in life, implore deeper. I ask you to, please. Because when all those women told me, Bina, you make us better, you made us go forward, you made us, when I thought that I was done, I thought my life was over. I thought this is it for me. I had this tumor, I can't see well anymore. I thought my life was over, but my life literally just started because I gave life. So I'm already empowered. You guys can't empower me, but you can inspire me. You will inspire me. Your stories, each and every one of these ladies and you girls out there, everyone has a story, and you will inspire each and every one of us in this room. So I implore you, don't just comment on someone's dress, although it makes us feel good, because trust me, I was that girl. But find a way to be inspired and to inspire someone, because that is true womanhood. That is true empowerment. Don't forget, we are already empowered. We were born empowered. We were born empowered. She gave birth to a beautiful child, the woman before me, Aisha, and she empowered her son because she was already empowered. So she empowered him to empower others. So we were born with this, right? So I implore you ladies to please give inspiration to each other. I think that is true sisterhood and womanhood. And that's what's helped me with my magazine. I thought I was going to quit my magazine. I thought it was over for me, but now I have better stories. I'm not going to post celebrities. They're already rich and famous. Who cares? I want to post people like you. We are celebrities here, right? Because we don't have to be actors or actresses to be famous. We're famous. All of us are famous within because we have better stories than these celebrities, correct? So we have to get those stories heard. So my platform now is bigger and better than ever. Now I found the true word of what empowerment truly means. And to me, that means empower someone who does not have a voice, right? Right? We don't have to have 1 million followers on Instagram or have a lot of likes on Facebook. No one cares. It's all irrelevant. Wasn't Facebook down 2 days ago and our lives were like completely over with, mine included? I'm like, oh my God, I just messaged someone. Where's my message? I was freaking out. But that should remind us that we don't have to have someone else's platform to have our voice heard. We create our own platform. This is our platform right here. You understand? So you try to get to every woman here you can. I mean, it's going to be hard, but talk to someone, get their information, say, how can I help you? I'm in such and such business. How can I help you with this business? That's called true inspiration, and that's the true word of empowerment. So I leave you with this. No matter what people look at face front, everyone has a story. And let's pray everyone's story comes out beautiful. I'm still finding my story. I'm still finding the beauty in my life, and I found it. And it's through sisterhood, and it's through womanhood, and it's through my friends that pushed me to that level that I thought I lost. So I want to thank you, ladies, and have a good morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Bina. That was really inspirational. Thank you. And just like you mentioned that we all need a platform, guess who's our next speaker? It is our ABC 13 reporter, and she reports for Race and Color, and she is absolutely amazing, and she will be talking about challenges that women face with the significant other. So, Rosie, take the mic.
Thank you so much, Hina. Why did I have to follow these two ladies? I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna bow out now. Both very incredible stories. Thank you so much for sharing and being vulnerable. Thank you so much, Fort Bend County Judge K.P. George's office, for having me here. If I may, I'd like to start out by taking an informal poll. By a show of hands, how many people in here are married? Okay. How many are divorced? All right. How many are dating or seeing somebody? All right. How many are single? Woo woo. Who's just going with the flow and letting things happen when they happen? Yes. Yes, I love the energy. I ask this question because no matter what your situation is, I know that each and every one of us in this room is an incredible person. Yet society sometimes likes to judge our worth, it likes to define us, and it even likes to nag us sometimes about our relationship status. For me personally, I'm a 33-year-old woman who has never been married and never had kids. My boyfriend and I have been together for 6 years. We're raising a 12-year-old Labrador Retriever together, and we're doing well. But everyone and their grandma wants to know when we're going to tie the knot and grow our family. So some backstory. I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah, where about half of the population is part of the Mormon religion. I myself, I am not Mormon, but that religious influence seeped into the overall culture of the state no matter where you lived. That meant that if you were not married, if you did not have kids, if you were not a homeowner by age 25, people will make you feel like there's something wrong with you, whether you're Mormon or not. At the time, I was in a previous relationship with my high school sweetheart, and I can only remember how much pressure we felt to do the deal. But as I reflect, we were in no position, especially financially, to take that step. Yet we were talking hypothetically about our wedding, kids, what they would look like. And today, I thank the universe I did not marry that man. Because I would probably still be financially supporting him to this day if I did. By then, I was 24 years old, so like a year away from, the golden 25, married, kids, house. When I made the decision to walk away from my ex, because I just knew it wasn't a good fit. That's when I met my current partner, Jason, in Utah, who also works in the broadcasting industry. Because he was 7 years older than me, he was much further along in his career trajectory than I was. At the time, I was only an intern in college. And the way it works in the broadcast news industry is typically when you graduate from college and you're entry level and you want to break into broadcasting, the only TV news stations that will hire you are the ones in the smaller towns. So think of Helena, Montana, Biloxi, Mississippi, Syracuse, New York. And I was willing to do that. I was willing to do whatever it took to pursue and go after my dreams and break into this industry. So when I neared graduation, Jason knew that I was planning on leaving Utah. He had a contract, so he had to stay. And we had a very hard conversation, and he admitted to me, listen, I don't do long-distance relationships. And it broke my heart. So I was in this very difficult predicament. Do I stay with this man and figure something else out in Utah? Or do I part ways with him and chase after my dreams? I parted ways with him and chased after my dreams. But, the answer is obvious because you all know what I do now for work. But I think this dilemma is something many of us women go through. How often do we have to give up something that makes us happy to make somebody else happy? And if we don't, then we risk losing our relationship, which can bring shame, embarrassment, self-doubt because of the expectations and the cultural norms that society places on us. What I've learned for myself is that I will never give up on my morals, on my values, on my goals for someone else. And that doesn't make us selfish. It just means that we recognize that if we compromise what makes us us, we're setting ourselves and our partners down the line for resentment, for conflict, and a recipe for disaster. I truly believe there is someone out there for everyone. But because of societal norms and these cultural expectations, it makes a lot of women feel like they are incomplete without a partner. And so oftentimes, we rush into relationships with someone or do our best to make it work when it's toxic, sometimes when it's deadly, because that's the pressure that we feel. So going back to the story earlier that I told, so what happened between me and Jason? So only 8 months later, after I moved to Eugene, Oregon, for my very first news job, guess who just happened to get a job 2 hours away in Portland, Oregon? To this day, he still denies that he followed me to Oregon, and he claims that it is a coincidence. Fine, I'll give him that, whatever. But we rekindled, and we have been together since then. He ended up moving to 2 more states with me as I've progressed in my career, with Texas being the latest move. We moved here about 2 years ago. And the journey has not been perfect. We've been in couples therapy. Along the way, we've butted heads about so many things. Whose career are we following next? When are we going to stop moving up the ladder and settle down, plant some roots? When are we going to get married and have kids? Will we even have kids? And if we have kids, does one of us have to leave the industry just because of how tumultuous and unsteady this job really is? Now, I still don't have the answers to a lot of those questions, but I can tell you that after moving out of Utah, that pressure has eased up a lot because we don't have family and friends hounding us all the time about the timeline that they expect for us. Now, we may not be married yet, but I feel like we are. And I feel like we live like we are. We don't have kids yet, but if we did, sometimes I feel like we might not be together right now because our jobs are so stressful, and we just knew that right now is not the time to do both. It wouldn't be fair to the children. I dream of a world where women will no longer be bounded by societal norms and preconceived gender roles. I envision a world where a woman is still respected if she puts marriage and kids on hold to pursue her career. I hope for a world where we have enough resources to support women if they want to do both at the same time. And I want a world where women feel the same sense of worth, no matter if they're single or in a relationship. And I'm hopeful because every single day I see society making strides towards this dream. This room alone, based on that poll, proves that we are celebrating all of you whose lives and backgrounds look so different, but all of you bring value, worth, and contribution to our communities. We are slowly changing the narrative, the expectations, the image of what it looks like to be successful, happy women. And the truth is, there is none, because women are so complex, diverse, and unique. Happiness and success looks different for all of us. I'm so inspired by all of you who are working to change the world in your own ways. Please make sure to check in on yourself to see if you are doing okay. Check in on your friends, your sisters, your mothers, who might forget to check in on themselves. Sometimes we need a reminder that no matter the struggle, we are doing amazing, okay? And I hope that this can be a reminder that no matter what you are facing in your life right now, you got this, and you're going to overcome it. Happy International Women's Day Eve, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Rosie. You're speaking the truth today, huh? All right. This is amazing. This panel is amazing. We have some amazing women up here. I am going to introduce our next speaker. Some of you may know her. She is Tricia Frederick. She is the Associate Vice President for Pap Dawson Engineers, and she is going to speak about challenges in the workplace. I think we got some fans.
And when I was asked to speak about challenges in the workplace, and they said only 8 minutes, guys. But thank you so much for inviting me today. You guys do look great. I know a lot of you guys' stories out here. Some of our representatives are here, and I know that they have overcome many challenges in their workplace. So I decided to pick a few to talk about in limited time. But thank you guys for being here, and happy International Women's Eve Day. So like Shanika said, my name is Tricia Frederick, and I'm in the engineering field. I've been an engineer for 20 years. And when I was thinking about challenges, I kind of like the word challenge. I'm always really optimistic about things. I don't want to talk about the challenge, but I had to take a moment to really understand who I am and where I came from, because that's going to be the foundation of how you approach challenges and how you interact with people. So I really had to say, okay, Tricia, let's start with what are some of the things that make you you. And every woman, every person is going to have their own layers, right? They're going to have their own layers that make them the person that they are. So a little bit about my background. I'm from an immigrant family. My family is from Grenada, an island of the West Indies. Well, we got some Caribbean people back there? No. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, the first in my family to be born in the U.S. I come from a very Catholic family, and I'm a godmother to 3 beautiful children. Like I said, I've been working as an engineer for 20 years in a residential development and infrastructure projects. And I chose engineering because in my family, there were two things. You were either an engineer or a nurse. It was really weird. And my dad, he's a nuclear engineer and worked for Department of Defense. I have a cousin. He's one of the founders of AWS, Amazon Web Services. And so it was kind of like I had no choice to kind of be an engineer. And with nursing in a medical field, I just can't stand. It's not a good idea. I don't like needles. I don't like blood. Don't cough on me. I don't want to see that. Let's do engineering. But coming to that decision wasn't really that easy. I remember the call to my parents to say, well, first of all, I was in my junior year, so they paid 3 years of college when I changed. And, I was going to break up their expectation of me to be the doctor of the family. The women were nurses, now I was going to be the doctor. Why that moment was important to me is because it was the first time I could really remember me saying no to someone else's expectation. And you're really going to have to exercise that muscle. Mine is very strong, by the way. But that was the first time where I can reflect on that. And so what are some of my layers that stand out the most? Immigrant family, Catholic, engineer, Black, female. And so let's move into just some of the things. I picked about 5 things that I think we should consider and we should look out for in the workplace. So number 1, set your own expectations. This is a silent killer. It's a silent killer when people put low expectations on you. And being a Black female in engineering, it's getting better. I'm going to give the industry credit. It's getting better. But make sure that you're getting the right assignments. Make sure you're confident in your capabilities. You just can't have other people set their low expectations on you. Number 2, get in the mix. You may be in a workplace where people don't look like you. In my industry, guys like to get together and they go hunting, fishing, skeet shooting, all this stuff that I did try skeet shooting. It turns your whole arm black. It's terrible. So I don't like doing that. But it doesn't mean that I cannot develop relationships with those important people in our industry. You could do brunch, you could do lunches. Fort Bend County is so great. You could invite them to charity events. You need to create your space to develop those relationships, because it's the relationships that's going to give you those opportunities. It's going to allow you to understand your industry. Do not isolate yourself because you look different. And going into that, setting boundaries. And I think about setting boundaries when I'm in a male-dominated arena. And I went to school. I went to Georgia Tech. There's a lot of males at that school. And I had to have this transition on how to manage relationships with males. And I don't think we talk about it enough. A lot of times there's situations where I had to kind of find out and navigate about that. So I would share, I don't go to work and announce my rules of engagement, but I would tell you guys, I do breakfast, lunches, I don't do dinners. I'm not going to hang out, sipping whiskey and smoking cigars. And there's nothing, you could do that, I could do that with friends. I'm not saying I look down, you could do that with friends, but when it comes to relationships with other males, I think it's very important to be intentional and set your boundaries. And the 4th, ask for what you want. Sometimes I hear people have complaints, but then I ask, well, did you ask what you want? And sometimes we just forget to do that. Like I said, my dad is an engineer, and he was at home one day working out his home office, and I saw a list. Y'all don't get mad at my dad, and don't tell him I'm telling this story, but I'm going to tell you the story. So he had this list, and he had the project managers that was in his division, okay? And it had their salaries. He was doing evaluations. So I looked through the list while he's talking. I'm just being nosy, looking at what his desk. I said, Dad, what is this? Is this a lady right here? He said, yes. I said, why is her salary like $10,000 to $15,000 less than everybody else? It's like a gap. You can see it on the paper. And I said, why? And he goes, Trisha, that's what she asked for. That's my dad, y'all. Oh, sorry, don't tell him. But he said, Trisha. I said, but Dad. No, he goes, Trisha, that is what she asked for. So fast forward, a few years later, remember, $10,000 to $15,000. That's a lot, okay? So fast forward a few years later, I was working for infrastructure projects for Kinder Morgan, an oil and gas company, and the gas prices went down. This was about 2015. Prices went down, so they were offering packages to people, and part of the benefit was that I'm going to have a career coach, right? This career coach, they come to you, and you work on your resume, and they have all the data and everything of where you should work and your salary. And so this lady gave me my salary, okay? And she said, look, you're going to go in this interview, let's prep. When they ask you what you want, tell them this number. This is the range. We did the research. And so I go to the interview of the company that I'm with now. I go to the interview, and they said, Trisha, what do you want? So what I did was I took that lady's number, added $15,000, and I got the salary. And so that kind of goes back to the expectations, correct? The expert, the woman who knew what my salary was supposed to be, she had this lower expectations. You know how long it takes to gain $15,000 in the same? She about to have me messed up. But just make sure that you ask for what you want, and in no way I'm saying, yeah, know your worth. Definitely know your worth. And lastly, just be yourself. You know, from my background and how we are, we're very animated, and just bring that all to the table. Just bring it all to the table. I felt that I'm strongest when I'm my most authentic self. That's how I can move, and people will accept it. I haven't been rejected, right? You haven't rejected me. So with that, that concludes my message. Thank you guys so much.
Good, Lorette. Okay, hi everybody. Thank you, Trisha. I'm going to announce a beautiful Karina Luna, and I want to tell you, when I was told I was going to announce her, I said, okay, I'll need 10 minutes. And everyone said, no, she only has 8. So this is interesting. I followed her on Instagram probably 7 or 8 years ago. I've watched her move from California to Houston. I've watched this lady grow into an amazing Mexicana that I could look up to, and my daughter could look up to, and my daughter's daughter. And so when I was thinking of what to say, I mean, she's a beautiful human, beautiful inside and out. And I know this through Instagram. Like, I watch her. Beauty is as beauty does. I watch her. She's fair to people. She stands up for people. She's not afraid to do that. She is an actress, an entrepreneur. She is a brand new mom, a wife. Yes. She's just a fantastic human being, and we're really lucky that you're here in Fort Bend County. Thank you.
There we go. Hi. Buenas tardes. Good afternoon, ladies. Thank you so much for that intro. I'm still in postpartum phase, so it almost made my tears come out. Girl. Yes, as she said, my name is Karina Luna. I am from LA, born and raised. I'm Mexican-American, first generation. I say that very proudly because what you see here is my parents' hard work. And everything that I've gone, thank you. I'll cry again. This postpartum thing is so real. My parents have sacrificed so much for me to come here. My parents, and I'm getting off topic, but my parents were unable to dream, so I dream for them. So everything that I can do, I try to do with their fingerprint on all my actions. but I'm going to speak to you today about the challenges of physical appearance of a woman in the workspace. And being in Hollywood, I got a lot to say. But like she said, I only have 8 minutes. Before we get started, I do want to thank Fort Bend, everybody who's involved. And can we just do something real quick? We've been sitting for a minute. Can we just stand up for a second? Let's stand up, okay? Because I feel we haven't really taken in the room and the beauty in it. Look at us with the outfits on. Can we do a little spin, a little, a little something, a little dip, Tell somebody you are beautiful, okay? Notice, that's right. You are beautiful. I said, you are beautiful, not you look beautiful. You are beautiful, okay? We're gonna start there for physical appearance. Thank you. Thank you for obliging me. Just had to shake the room up, Get some energy going. Make sure you ladies saw each other in your fullness. You all took the time to get dressed, to drive out here, to be here, so thank you for that. It is exhausting. It's exhausting to constantly have to navigate through society's expectations, particularly those placed upon women regarding physical appearance, both in professional spaces and society at large. And heaven forbid you're actually cute, because that's an extra layer of challenges itself. Being the firstborn daughter of Mexican immigrants, what that instilled in me was a profound sense of determination and grit from a very young age. I mean, my parents taught me entrepreneurship. They were selling tortillas and stuff on the street, and that's true entrepreneurship. My parents' journey to this land was fueled by hope and the pursuit of a better life for their children. They faced numerous adversities, from cultural assimilation to economic hardships. Their relentless work ethic and perseverance in the face of these challenges were my first lessons in resilience. They taught me that success is not just about reaching your destination, but also about overcoming the obstacles you encounter along the way. However, as a woman, the hurdles I faced were not only about ethnicity or socioeconomic status, but they were also compounded by societal expectations around physical appearance. Weird. And also, side note, being in a macho uphold, like ringing, that has a whole other set of, like she said, gender roles and expectations. And I burn water, so that was a whole different topic in my household. How are you a woman? You don't cook. Who's gonna marry you? Look at me married and stuff. That's crazy. Anyways, now, nowhere was this more evident than in my pursuit of a career in Hollywood. The entertainment industry, with its glaring spotlight, often places undue emphasis on a woman's physical attractiveness, sometimes overshadowing her talent and her hard work. So annoying. As an actress, I quickly learned that while talent is crucial, the industry's expectations from women regarding their appearance can be both stifling and diminishing. It was a constant battle to assert my worth. Hey, I'm talented. I can do this role. Transitioning from Hollywood, check this out. Not sure how this happened. I transitioned from Hollywood into a trucking company. I now own a truck. Right, I know, girl, same. I was like, how'd this happen? She looked at me like, yes, ma'am, I know. So I'm now in this very male-dominated world of trucking and logistics, and that has its own different set of challenges. Here I've encountered skepticism and dismissal, not just because I'm a newcomer or because I'm a woman, but because I'm attractive. Heaven forbid I work hard and know what that looks like. The assumptions are that I'm less capable, less knowledgeable because of my gender, and again, because I was considered attractive. It's extremely disheartening and frustrating when, again, I come from immigrants. All I know is hard work. It was as if my appearance and my femininity automatically negated my business acumen and my leadership abilities. In both of these worlds, the underlying issue remains the same: societal ingrained perceptions and expectations regarding women's physical appearance, which often lead to our capabilities and contributions being underestimated or overlooked. It's a narrative that I feel like all of us can relate to. at some point or other, whether it's family, whether it's your workspace. There's always someone that feels because you make the time to get dressed, then your kids must be unkept and not enough time spent for them, right? Or because you are, heaven forbid, cute or attractive, labeled as that, you must not know what you're talking about in these meetings. I've been muted, I've been overspoken. I've literally been in a meeting, I'll never forget this. I'm sharing my proposal on a project, and let's just say, you are a gentleman, you ignore what I just said, he will say the exact same thing in different words. Genius, wow, why didn't we think of this? However, I do stand here as proof that these stereotypes and barriers can be broken. My journey from the daughter of immigrants to a successful actress and businesswoman in the logistics industry is a testament to the power of resilience, hard work, and the refusal to be confined by these expectations. It's about challenging the status quo, proving that our worth is not determined by our looks, but by the strength of our character, the depth of our passion, and the tenacity with which we pursue these goals. As we move forward, let us strive to create spaces that value women for their contributions, their talents, their capabilities, and beyond their physical appearance. Let's work towards a society where young girls, my daughter included, can aspire to be successful, not because of how they look, but because of what they can achieve and the difference they can make. In closing, I would like to urge each of you to reflect on the roles that you play in your family, in your workspace. Are you perpetuating these stereotypes, or are you breaking them down? Let's commit to fostering environments, whether it be Hollywood, the logistics industry, or any other field, where women are judged by the content of their character and the quality of their work, not by their appearance. Because let me tell you, I have days where I look a hot mess. My hair's in a bun, I'm in sweats, and I'm killing it. Together, I know that we can pave a way for a more inclusive, equitable, and just world. Thank you.
Talking about how a mess, you should have seen all of us in that back table, like literally 5 minutes before all of you got here. We looked a hot mess, but we look good now, and you all look good, so thank you. I'm here to introduce a very dear friend of mine. Her name is Stacy Campos. She is a program director with Houston Methodist Hospital, and she is here to speak to us about something very important that we neglect as women, and that is our mental well-being. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Olga, and thanks so much for putting this event on and bringing everyone together so that your voices could be heard, and all the inspiring voices I've already heard today. So thank you so much for sharing your stories. I'm here talking about mental well-being. A little bit about me. I've worked in healthcare for 18 years, Mexican-American, third generation, and grew up in a single-parent household. And for all the reasons that these lovely ladies have already talked about, you can see kind of the difficulties in overcoming some of those issues. But before diving into mental health well-being, I wanted to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like on the national level and on the Texas level for mental health care. Really, it's a bit concerning, but Texas has consistently been ranked the absolute lowest, dead last in access to mental health care. When they look at this, it's looking at access to treatment, access to insurance, and the quality and cost of insurance. And when you pair that with the fact that we have a lot of rural areas in Texas, it makes it even harder for people in those areas to obtain mental health care. And we have, in addition to that, also dealing with a national shortage of psychiatrists, which has been an issue for a long time and isn't going to go away anytime soon. So we're kind of in this pressure cooker of a situation where Texans are truly having to come an even higher barrier to get the access to care that they desperately need.
and to kind of put this in perspective, when in our urban areas, say in the Houston area, when a new patient is looking for psychiatric treatment for an outpatient appointment, they still have to wait 6 weeks to get in to see someone, which is pretty significant. For women specifically, we are even higher risk of having mental health issues. 1 in 8 women deal with depression, and this is particularly minorities have to overcome this even more. Middle-aged women, Hispanic women are at the highest of those percentages that deal with that, followed by African American women. And when you expand that to common mental health problems, depression and anxiety, that becomes 1 in 5 women that are dealing with this. Growing up, I did not have the vocabulary to even know what depression was or what that looked like. When I was kind of going through that and experiencing that, I had a mom who told me what her mom told her: oh, it's fine, shake it off, you're okay. You know, and how many of us kind of have that where we don't always feel validated in our feelings, and you know, we know what we're feeling, but we may not be able to articulate it, have the vocabulary to articulate it, and to be able to kind of hold space with those around us to let them know, hey, it's okay. And I think the biggest thing too is for everyone to know that it's okay not to be okay. So many of us are going through difficult experiences, difficult times in our lives. And so just being there and showing up for each other and letting someone vent to you, you know, vocalize their concerns makes a huge, huge difference and impact, a positive impact to someone's mental health and well-being. Some of the risk of developing mental health issues, it makes it even, and why we have that such a higher incidence for women versus men in mental health issues. 1 in 8 women, like I said, are experiencing depression. That's twice the rate that men experience depression. And that really comes in through being the caregivers, right? Either the primary caregiver in our home or the only caregiver in a home. Living in poverty or having financial insecurity, and that causes its own stressors, increased anxiety, and then experiencing physical or sexual abuse and experiencing sexual violence. All of these greatly impact and increase our risk factors for developing these mental health issues. To emphasize the importance of this, 2024, Houston Methodist Hospital started screening for social determinants of health for every single patient that comes through the door, and it's available for all the care team to see. And that looks at the financial instability, it looks at substance abuse, depression, and anxiety levels for the patient. And then it also looks at, interestingly enough, because it makes a huge difference, the social support system that person has in place, and they're linked to the community. So are they involved in religious activities, in social networking events? You know, do they really kind of come together with others to have their voice heard and to feel supported? And mental health impacts physical health. We have really 20%, when you look at 20% of our well-being is our physical, and then there's the 80% that is the social, economic issues, the mental health issues that really do impact us negatively. And so when we look at the difference between women and men and how that tends to kind of come out, women, we tend to internalize our feelings, and we tend to not necessarily give voice to them. Men, in contrast, tend to kind of act out if they're feeling something, right? They might, or they'll do self-isolation as well. But it's really kind of no wonder when you see like the clip of Barbie and you hear other stories here, why we internalize, right? Like we're kind of told how we should act and how we, you know, should be. And just being authentic and kind of knowing your value and knowing your experience and being willing to share that makes a huge difference in a group of friends, let alone in a community. And sharing your own experiences makes a huge difference. So how can you improve your mental health and well-being? One of the first things we do with all our patients is we track their sleep. Are they getting a solid 6 hours of sleep? Because if you don't, that can significantly decrease over time, especially, you know, we live crazy lives, we're super busy, so blocking out the time to take care of yourself and self-care is hugely important. Being physically active, making sure that you're eating well, and truly talking about your feelings. I keep coming back to that because that's the most important thing. Have your voice heard and make sure that people are knowing what you're going through and being there and holding that space with people to know what they're going through and letting them know that you're there.
and then creating some support networks for yourself, for your friends, to be able to come together and help each other as a community. And then recognizing when someone is at risk, if they're withdrawing or they're isolating, reaching out to them and being proactive to see if they need help. Some of the things you can do as well to kind of help with anxiety, or you can do, if you ever heard box breathing, you breathe in 4 seconds, hold it 4 seconds, exhale 4 seconds, and then hold for 4 seconds. So if you want to do that with me real quick, just so you can kind of practice. Okay, so breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you repeat this, it kind of tells your body to calm down and helps kind of regulate your breathing, because your breath actually has a huge impact on your physiological symptoms. Another thing you can do before bed, we have kind of those racing thoughts, right? Sometimes it's hard to go to sleep. You can inhale for 2 seconds and exhale for 6. And that tells your nervous system, hey, it's okay. You know, you can calm down, relax, and kind of get to sleep so that you can actually get your full 6 hours plus that you need to feel healthy. There's also a national hotline, a crisis hotline that was created. And if you dial 988, then it's like kind of the mental health equivalent of 911. And what it does is it puts you in touch with a group that's manned 24/7, and it'll put you in touch with people in your local area that can provide support that's needed. So if you're concerned for yourself or for a friend and you dial 988, that number will get you to trained professionals who can help and kind of guide you on what to do and next steps, so they can kind of help you through your own crisis or let you know how to handle that of a friend. And then just the biggest thing, truly, just to share, make sure that you guys know that it's okay not to be okay. Make sure that your voice is heard, and make sure that other people feel comfortable to have their voices heard. So supporting each other is so important, whether it's in your personal space, in the community, or in your workplace. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you for all you guys do for each other.
Oh, thank you, Stacy. That's wonderful. And I know I want to keep everybody on the time frame that we had decided for. So we're just open for just 2 questions. So let us know if you have any questions. Does anybody have any questions? Helpline?
Absolutely. The National Crisis Line is 988. Yeah. And you can also go to National Crisis Helpline 988. You can even do a text. So you can message, if you're not in a safe space, you can message and still get help.
Any other questions, guys? This is your moment. There we are, Connie.
Does it impact their emotional well-being, but that critical development and that bonding opportunity with children is critical. So I've been doing mental health for almost 40 years, and you know, we really need to focus on this prevention and really this bonding opportunity with children that is not only good for our children but also good for our moms. So I don't think that's a question but just a comment, but I hope that those of you that are in the business world, you can advocate for paid maternity leave. Thank you.
First, I want to say that I'm absolutely blown away by the topics you guys chose. Every single person in this room has been thoroughly engaged. There's not side chit-chatter, which usually happens when people say the same message over and over. So thank you guys for being amazing speakers. I'm a psychotherapist. My name is Sarah Ali. I'm also an entrepreneur, and one of the things that I'm inspired to do after hearing all of you guys, I would love to create a free women's support group in my practice in Stafford. And if there's anyone who knows any program directors in any women's organizations, I would love to volunteer my time to do support groups at a facility or my own office, because I do think we all need a sisterhood panel like this on a regular basis.
All right, thank you. So that has been wonderful. Thank you all, panel, for being here. It's been great messaging this afternoon. Challenges, right? And we have got to listen to every story. I know we all can relate to what everybody has mentioned today. Like Hannah said, to stay on track, we want to be able to bring up, for the first time, Judge George to close us out this afternoon and to give us some words of wisdom to this lovely ladies. This is the only man besides Ryan here. So without further ado, Judge KP George.
It looked like, I lost my sound last night. I don't know what happened, but I never spoke to a room full of women before. Now I'm scared. I am, but I am so excited. I am so appreciative of you all taking the time, and you all are speaking all this good stuff, and now I could say thank you very much, let's go home, right? What I'm going to add it to that? Nothing, really. You heard all. But I just wanted to say, one thing about leadership is all about empowering everybody in the community, in the county, in the state, wherever it is, empowering. And women power is often overlooked, often. And you take care of everybody, right? You take care of everybody. My wife say, we have 3 kids. She always say, I got 4 kids, like so. So I'm sure you had the same thing, right? Because and also one thing I admire about women is you guys multitask. I cannot do anything other than one thing I'm doing. That's it. I cannot do it, and I never even try to do it because it's not going to happen. But you do 10 different things at the same time. I admire you, and I just wanted to say this. This is the reason why when I came into office and I said, we are going to celebrate everybody. And especially a group of people often overlooked the hard work they do in the community as far as, see, olden days, most women stayed home and they were called homemakers and they took care of the kids or husband or family or whatever that is. That role has been changed. Now you are an earning member of that family, and that's where I have a whole lot admiration for you guys. You are a earning member, and you're raising your children and raising everybody around you. Hats off to each and every one of you. Absolutely. And especially when you do it to the best. And that's where we have to admire. This is not for celebrating you all. It never should be a 1 day or 1 month deal. It should be celebrated every day. And I appreciate that. And that's also one thing I learned, you don't have to be smart to do everything. You surround yourself with smart people, right? So what I did is, if you look at my office, and I'm going to say everybody, everybody standing up my office, can you please stand up? Ryan, can you sit? Not, yeah. As you can see, majority of my office is women. And so they do an amazing job every single day to serve this county. And since they're standing, sometimes I forget somebody's name or this or that. Today, they all are standing, so I know who you are. And so, Shanika Smith, you heard from everybody. Shanika Smith is my chief of staff. And obviously my office, my office manager, office administrative manager is Daniel Saduva. Court services manager, Olga Pero. And grant coordinator and grant manager, Samantha Gully. And communication manager, Tammy Frazier. Community development and community engagement, Hannah. Everybody know Hannah, right? So these women make me feel good, or make me look good, I should say, in front of others. They do all kind of. This is yesterday. I saw that they're putting together this thing in front of you, whatever that is, and they took so many hours to put all. I said, what is this? And they said they wanted to make it special. It looked like good, and it is those who are coming and they need to feel good about themselves, and that's who they are. That's who they are. And you are hosted by those people. And I just wanted to once again thank you for taking the time and coming here. And I hope it's worth it. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you empowered by these smart women were talking. And I heard some of it. Trisha, I didn't hear you. And I'm so sorry. And I know that you're always with smart people. And you know what? One thing I always say this. A lot, last changed in Fort Bend County, last especially 6+ years. And we have 4 out of 6 county court law judges are women. And there are numerous district court judges, numerous elected officials are women. And there, as you can see, numerous chief of staffs and, Katie, Katie is maybe one of the longest serving chief of staff in Fort Bend County. Commissioner Prestigious, thank you for your service. And so thank you. And I'm not going to take everybody's name because I can forget people, and every one of you are important here. And thank you for taking the time once again. And thank you for you all coming and sharing this. But this is what we can collectively do. But don't make it as a one-time deal. I heard somebody saying that they're going to form a what is that? Some women empowering something, right, in Stafford. And so let's all make that commitment. Let's get together. Let's have tea or coffee or whatever so that you could empower. So everybody have challenges and problems and all that stuff. Let's share it. And when you hear somebody else's problem, you say, you know what, my problem is not that big. And so let's have that camaraderie, let's have that unity, let's have that empowering each other, so helping each other. And that's what make the West the best and the phenomenal women in the world, in my opinion. And that's what we could make out of all of you. And so thank you so much. And thank you to my staff so much. They took so much the time to put together this thing. And this is not one-time event. We will continue to do this. And I know that you all came and you all are professionals. You took the time out of your day. And thank you for sharing your word of wisdom. And thank you. And I hope you all come back. Yeah. And I hope you all come back too. Thank you so much once again. Let us know anything we can do to help and support you all. And next time I come back, I'm going to have better sound too, okay? So thank you.
Speakers, can you please...
And I forgot to mention, Frost Bank is the sponsor of this event, and I just wanted to thank them very much for taking, contributing to make this event successful. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take a big group picture, but before that, I would like all the speakers to, if you can come down here at the backdrop and take a picture of a judge, and everybody, I would love for you guys to join in right after this one.